For those dealing with the daily struggles of caring for a loved one, we hear you. That's why AARP created a community with experts and other caregivers to help us better care for ourselves and the ones we love.
In Fairfield County, something new comes across my desk every day. Crimes are committed, cases are solved, and a community is made safe by the hardworking employees of the Fairfield County Sheriff's Office.
Welcome to This Week with Sheriff Dave Phelan, a weekly program here on LSN, and do appreciate each and every one of you joining us, and certainly the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy, our executive producer Kelly Roberts. Two great guests this week. We have back by popular demand is Lieutenant Mark Churchill and our jail chaplain Tom Underwood. Good to see each of you this week, and always you always do a good job, both of you, when we come together.
Thank you.
You know, we're going to talk a little bit about some of the things that you've been doing, Tom, within the jail, and I guess I'll start with you. How important is programming to our prisoners, and what is some of the different programming we have, even outside the jail ministry?
Well, we have several different things. We got Narcotics Anonymous that comes in. We have Alcoholics Anonymous that comes in. They hold weekly meetings with the inmates. We have GED that comes in, and we also have some grants that are going through the jail right now, which are for mental health and substance abuse. Right. And we also have Mid-Ohio Psychological Services that will be starting in June. But we also have the jail ministries, and they've made a tremendous impact within the jail. I know that a lot of the inmates enjoy when Pastor Tom comes to visit. And I actually, yesterday when I was down at the MSMJ, I had the opportunity to see Pastor Tom interact with some of the inmates, and it made me happy. He does a good thing, and we really appreciate what he does for us. Yeah,
you've really had a positive impact. What are some of the programs we did last year?
Last year we had a few events, and one was an ice cream event where we just talked a little bit about just what they needed to do to maybe overcome some conflict and just to kind of chill out. We're going to do that again this year. We also did an event at the end of the year around Christmas time where we gave all the inmates a brown lunch bag about 3/4 full of Christmas candy. Mm-hmm. And we also did a Christmas Eve service for all 3 locations. Okay. So very, very good stuff.
And you continue to plan for some things for the future?
Yes, 2014 we have 5 events planned. We just did one in March called Reaching Out, Reaching Up. It was an event designed to give information to inmates about local opportunities that they would have. We're doing a anger management conflict resolution event in June called Chill Out. We're doing the Spice of Life event in September, where we'll talk about just focusing on the good things of life and trying to stay away from addiction and those kinds of things. And of course, we'll do our Christmas bag in December and the Christmas Eve service. And then we're holding Bible studies 7 days a week for men and women, not every day for each group, but there's something going on in the jail 7 days a week from a Bible perspective.
And one of the challenges you have as the jail administrator, Lieutenant, we've talked about this, is there's only so many hours in the day, and actually we have a pretty good problem because we have now more people wanting to do programming in the jail than we have spaces available.
And I'm okay with having a lot of people wanting to come in and do programming, but you're right, the space is the biggest issue. And I think we've done really well with managing our time that we have available, that they can come in and see the inmates. I do know that with a new facility that we have planned, yes, this can be easily resolved in that area. We'll have multiple programming areas for inmates, so we get multiple programs going on at one time. And we also have space that will be available for one-on-one meetings if they want to talk to Pastor Tom or their own family pastor, or if there's a counselor that needs to see them independently. We're going to be able to hold those types of events multiple places throughout the new facility.
And I think the bottom line is we want the experience. They're in there because they've typically done something wrong, and but we also want to try to get the prisoners in a place once they're released that they can kind of move forward in a positive direction, and that's why we do a lot of this programming.
That's our whole goal. We want them to be able, if they came in with nothing, or if they came in with no direction, what we want to have them leave is with something, whether it be GED or counseling or resources, so we give them that hope moving forward to where they can become productive citizens of their community, productive family members, a good father, a good mother, a good child, and they can become, again, a productive part of society.
Biggest surprise for you? I mean, you've been in the jail ministry, about 3 years, but it's kind of now the chaplain and kind of trying to coordinate all the different churches and all the different ministries, and biggest surprise.
The biggest surprise, I was just saying this to somebody the other day, I think the thing that I have found that inmates, that they respond to the most is relationship building. We heard this last week at an event we did for pastors at the jail. We had a lunch at the jail for local pastors and some agencies, and I kept hearing the word relationship. And that's the thing that I find amazing about what I'm doing. I'm really just reaching out and lending my ear, giving some positive encouragement, and I think that's having a huge impact. I really do.
And I think one of the other things, and I'm going to have to commend the lieutenant here, some of these things wouldn't be possible unless you had a jail administrator that was you guys are kind of rowing in the right direction and rowing together.
I think
Tom, and sometimes it can be challenging.
We have great collaboration. Tom comes up with some unique ideas, one just recently that we're going to have to talk about. But majority of the time when Pastor Tom comes in, he has some great passion with what he wants, and he lays out the goals that he has and the impression that he wants to make. And we've worked together to really move forward on a lot of areas. Again, the last biggest thing we did was we had a luncheon with the area pastors, and he orchestrated that very well, and it came together, and I think it was a huge success at the end. So.
Right, we had all the pastors, and I was there, lieutenant, and we ate with what the prisoners eat each and every day, or the inmates every day.
We had the food on the menu for that day.
Okay, so all good stuff. What do you see in the future?
I think what I'm seeing in the future is that hopefully that we're going to have a greater impact. I'm seeing more and more people coming to the events, the Bible studies and things. This week, we had 111 men participate in Bible studies in 3 days. I think that's amazing. And I'm projecting that by the end of the year, if those numbers continue, that we'll have upwards of 10,000 attendees, touches with folks by the end of this year through the jail. And that's not 10,000 people, but 10,000 opportunities for us to speak into people's lives.
Now, once the prisoners are released, is there times when you still continue to have contact with them as the jail chaplain?
Absolutely. I give everybody who wants my cell phone number, and I probably hear from 2 to 5 people a week from who've gotten out of jail. Maybe that day or the next day. I also, I'm getting an amazing number of friend requests on Facebook. It's been amazing. I get 2 to 3 a day from people who are either have been in jail or family members of people who've been in jail. So that's really cool because I think people are wanting to connect into something positive, and I think we are a catalyst for that going forward.
And I think what you'll find over the upcoming years, and I'll just give you an example. You talk about phone calls. Since Loretta's ministry, which is Grace Haven Ministry, and for the viewers or listeners that may not know what that is, it's now 3 homes that they have in Lancaster when girls get out of jail and they have nowhere to go. They want to get their lives right. They want some accountability. They can go to Grace Haven. And so Loretta has been doing that along with a whole group a host of volunteers for now about 8 years. And the same thing has happened. When girls leave, there's been probably 130 girls that's gone through Grace Haven. Well, now they've gone through, many have moved on. Some have been successful, sadly, some have not. But over the course of years, there's now a phone bank that is built up with them and their family. And Loretta has always been, she's always given her phone out, and so it doesn't stop. I mean, you know, she's getting calls continually. So I think what will happen over time, that phone bank of yours will keep you pretty occupied. Yeah.
I believe so.
Now, talking about the new facility, that's going to come up in about, hopefully in about 2.5, 3 years.
Yes.
And we're going to have additional classrooms. And again, that's going to be a game changer in a lot of different ways as far as the safety of the prisoners, the safety of our staff, and again, as you mentioned, programming.
Correct. I mean, as a sheriff's office, so we have a jail. We are charged with the care and custody of the inmates. And while they are in our care and custody, it is our responsibility and it is their right to receive mental health, to receive programming. And it's difficult to do that right now. And it's not because of our oldest facilities or the construction of them. It's just we've got inmates spread out through 3 facilities. And it's difficult for volunteers to come from one to the next to the other. And then that's where it comes down to facility. On Main Street Jail, it's very difficult to do any type of programming there. It's a little looser at the MSMJ where we do have open space that's common for the inmates to come into. And for the annex, there is space provided, but that space is small. And I actually congratulate Pastor Tom that he gets as many people in that space that he possibly can to reach out and let them hear what he's got to say. And he does a great job with that, but the benefit that we have is we are going to be able to have 4 different classrooms. We're going to be able to have 2 independent rooms for personal interviews or personal counseling sessions. All inmates will be in one facility. It'll be a more secure facility. It'll be staff efficient, and it will meet all of the state minimum jail standards that are in force today.
Right. It's going to be good things, and that's about 3 years off, and going to continue to build the jail ministry, kind of fine-tune it here and there, and a lot of different things. If prisoners have specific needs, do you try to address any of those? And that could be pretty tough, couldn't it?
Yeah, we obviously, I work within the rules and the guidelines that Lieutenant Churchill has given to me. There's a couple things that I do that I think go above and beyond probably what a jail ministry would do, and that is, number one, I will contact family members or friends. Just if someone's been in the hospital and maybe they don't have a phone card, they can't call anybody, so I will call somebody for them. I probably do anywhere from 10 to 15 contacts for folks a month. And then I also will provide reading glasses, which seems like a small thing, but we do provide reading glasses to inmates that need to be able to read better.
Right. So. And we do have a selection of books in the library at the jail. Hey, we're just about out of time. Pastor Tom, good to see you, brother, and he's done a terrific job. And also Jason Cordell, who is our Fairfield County Sheriff's Office chaplain that addresses the needs of our inmates and also death notifications and those things, also does a great job. And certainly joining us periodically throughout the year is the jail commander, Mark Churchill. Enjoy it. Well, we're just about out of time. Do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners that join us each and every week, and certainly the students here at Fairfield Christian Academy, J.T. Burcham and the gang, our executive producer, Kelly Roberts, do so many things behind the scene. Well, do appreciate you, the viewers and listeners. If you're out there driving, buckle up. We'll see you next week. God bless.
Smarter about what we bite on, okay? I want everyone to go outside. We're gonna run Red Rover on 3.
What about you, Tony?
I'm gonna run around circles, flatten my arms, and make engine noises like this.
When it comes to playing, we kids are the pros.
We're eating right, too.
We fuel up.
To play 60!
If your school doesn't have a program, be a leader. Start one.
Click today and join the movement.